Not many of you know, and if you don't, it's probably because you haven't been watching the videos on this channel, so you should smash the subscribe button and do so you can be in the loop here. But over the past few months, I've talked about several of these different assorted quarterback rumors involving the Chicago Bears. Going back to the actual season and Sam Darnold, and then the Deshaun Watson stuff, and the Derek Carr stuff. Yeah, like, talked about Carson Wentz stuff. Been enough. I'm losing track because there's been so many different quarterback rumors to talk about. So, I don't even know so much that this is a full-on rumor, although the name has been mentioned and associated, and you've seen some in the media talk about it being a fit. So we need to address this, and we need to address this now. If I've done it with others, if I've done it with Derek Carr and Carson Wentz and Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson and Sam Darnold, let's continue this streak. Let's run the gamut to talk about all these options, no matter how appealing or totally unappealing they are. But I know this is coming, especially when you're dealing with the Bears fans. God only knows that mindset of the mediocrity of the McCaskey way permeates every essence and fiber of your being. Now that the Washington football team has released Alex Smith, oh, maybe the Bears should sign him and bring him in as a bridge starter and bring him in as a mentor and all that. No! Let me spell that for you. Fuck no! The hell is wrong with you? I can already see it now in the comments. Well, you're just saying this because you're an Alex Smith hater. You've always been an Alex Smith hater. You'll always be an Alex Smith hater. No, not true. I understand that context is lost on many of you, but let's take a stab at this, shall we? I've never said completely, totally, with a straight face anyways, that Alex Smith totally sucks. He doesn't. And during his time in Kansas City, he didn't. But he was a nice guy, limited quarterback, that you weren't going to win big-time games in the playoffs because of. And in a lot of cases, not even with. And I was 100,000% validated in that. And the Chiefs, a few years ago, told you all the hell that you needed to know when they traded up to get Patrick Mahomes. And look at what happened with Andy Reid in that Kansas City Chiefs offense. When you added a Patrick Mahomes into the mix, you got that type of talent with that type of arm talent, that type of arm strength. I mean, the roof just blew off of that offense in terms of its potential. Alex Smith, good guy, solid leader, relatively good game manager. Doesn't make a ton of horrendous mistakes that will ultimately cost you, but more of the close, play it by the vest, play it close to the vest, check downs, take the early read because it's a safe read type of throw guy, who also had pretty poor pocket presence, etc. But guy you could certainly win games with in the NFL, but you're not going to win a ton of games because of. That's the reality. So, I knocked the Redskins, the Washington football team, when they made the trade for Alex Smith, because it was stupid. And the reason it was stupid was because it was stupid for the reasons I just pointed out. They gave him pretty big money to come in, and you could say, well, what happens if he doesn't injure his leg? Maybe the Redskins win 10 or 11 games that year and they get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. What the hell would you have accomplished then? And I know everybody's caught up on kind of the inspirational story of him working back from that devastating leg injury that for a lot of people could have potentially been career-ending. And not only was it not career-ending for him, he managed to come back and play in the NFL and start games in the NFL again and win games in the NFL again. And to me, that is truly borderline heroic. Like, he should absolutely be respected for that. He should absolutely be commended for that. He deserves a ton of respect. To have the singularity of purpose and determination to say, I'm going to come back. I'm not going to let this define me. And then to actually have conviction of purpose and vision to do what he needed to do and work his frickin' ass off for a year and a half to get back to a spot where he was able to come back. Like, that's remarkable. I praise the man for that. And I would if I saw him in person, because that's fantastic. But we also must not allow that feel-good, great type of story to cloud the better judgment here, Bears fans. If Alex Smith was so goddamn good, why in the hell would Washington, who just cut Dwayne Haskins, their first-round pick from 2019, a quarterback, before the regular season even ended, why in the hell would they have cut him? And don't give me that salary cap or contract shit. That's garbage and you know it. Because if there's one position you're not playing those types of salary cap games with, if you got a quarterback that is that dude, it is the quarterback position. Don't be dense on this. If Alex Smith was so good, he would still be the Washington starter. They wouldn't be bothering releasing him. They would be very unequivocal in their statement that he is our dude in 2021, period. No matter what we do in the offseason, no matter what we do in the draft, Washington football team's quarterback of 2021 is Alex Smith, end of discussion. But he's not! Because Washington also figured out what San Francisco way back when figured out and Kansas City figured out is that he could be a nice bridge or stopgap, but you're not winning anything meaningful with him, and that's just a fact. He's limited. And as he gets older, he's only more limited. To which some of you wise asses that somehow want to make wins a QB stat are going to say, ooh, he won several games as a starter for Washington this year. Did he really win them or did that defense win them? Ask Washington fans. They'll tell you that wasn't that much of a difference. And if anything, they might look at Kyle Allen and say he was better. And they certainly would say arguably the best quarterback performance they saw all year might have been Taylor Heineke in the wildcard game against the eventual Super Bowl champion Buccaneers. But here come the Bears fans wanting to talk about bringing him in. Because he's a stopgap, because he's a bridge, he's a mentor. Ding dong dumb dicks, you already got one in Nick Foles. Why the hell would you bring in a second one? Furthermore, why the hell would you cut Foles and have to eat some dead cap to then have to pay Alex Smith more money to come in and do the same fucking thing? That's stupid! And as far as the whole thing of, well, then you know what? Maybe they bring him in because they wanted to compete for the starting job. Is that where we're at? Is that how you address the quarterback position when you're a desperate team, very well equipped to make a really dumb, desperate move? This is the dumb, desperate move that you would potentially make? Is to bring in a mid-30s Alex Smith at the tail end of his career that several teams have had for a while and taken a look at and say, you know what, we'd like to try our chances elsewhere at this position. If you're going to do that, then you might as well keep Foles and Trubisky for 2021. Seriously. Seriously. Because at least with Foles, he's already been there for a year. You say, well, Alex Smith played in that system in Kansas City with Nagy. Okay, so fucking what? Nagy also wasn't the play caller back then. It's dumb. And if you say, well, yeah, he was the second half of the year. Okay, not that work out come playoff time. Exactly. Stop using the stupid ass game manager team wins or a QB stat crap, because that's the typical type of garbage you would expect from a fan base like the Chicago Bears. We shouldn't be looking for the next fucking Jim Miller. We should be looking for the next damn Aaron Rodgers. I mean, how recklessly stupid would you have to be to bring in Alex Smith into a situation to either, A, compete with Nick Foles and try to pass that off as a legitimate starting quarterback competition? The only controversy there with that battle would be, how could somebody be so stupid to put themselves in a spot where these are the two quarterbacks that are battling out for your starting job in 2021? That's the controversy. But if you're going to do that, you might as well roll with Trubisky, because at least you can gamble on Trubisky still being in his mid-20s, and you say, hey, if he makes even just a little bit of progression, he'll still suck. And let's be clear, he'll still suck. But if he made just a little bit of progression, he would legit be better than Alex Smith. So why the fuck would you bring in Alex Smith? Like, this makes absolutely no goddamn sense. You already have the quarterback mentor, Nick Foles. You already have the bridge guy in Nick Foles. You don't go into the marketplace and bring in another bridge guy to do the same damn thing he does in Foles or freaking compete with him. God, that would be stupid. And if this is the type of move that a Ryan Pace would make, it either tells you that there is absolutely no accountability for poor performance in that organization, which a lot of us believe anyways, because nobody that was truly desperate or fighting like their job and career depended on it in their GM spot in the National Football League would stake their claim to fucking Alex Smith or Nick Foles. They just wouldn't. So no, the Bears should have absolutely no interest in Alex Smith. This is stupid. Like, I don't agree with pursuing Derek Carr, but if they acquired him, at least I somewhat get that. Russell Wilson, I questioned some of the judgment on his end. Why in the hell would you want to come to this dumpster fire? But if he did, at least you could say you're trading a big prize, but at least you're getting an elite quarterback. Although I wonder just how many Bears fans would really be comfortable with what they're actually getting. And Deshaun Watson would cost you a shit ton as well, but at least then you're getting an elite guy. Or a perceived elite guy. Like, those you could all make arguments for. The Carson Wentz one, I don't think you could make such an argument for. But maybe you could have. Because you say all the true guaranteed money was going to be eaten by the Eagles, so, and even then, if your argument is, well, Alex Smith's not going to cost you much, you probably could find other guys in the marketplace that won't cost you as much that have more upside than him. It makes no sense to bring him in to do the same thing you've already got Nick Foles for. That's dumb. So on that premise, it's dumb. Bringing him in thinking in any way, shape, or form that he should be touching the football field as your starter of the Chicago Bears at any point in time in 2021 is even more idiotic and moronic. You either get the damn quarterback in the draft, you find a way to get one of these big deals done, whether it's for a Russ or whether it's for a freaking Deshaun Watson, or you go sniffing around in the Dak Prescott tulips. Like, you go make one of those big moves, or you make one in the draft. Or if you don't get it done, then you fire Ryan Pace because you had one job, asshole, to do in this offseason, and you couldn't even get it done. And in no way, shape, or form should anybody accept or buy into this Alex Smith crap. Great, the last thing we need is another mediocre-ass quarterback in Chicago. Give me a break.